Hi, Mama. I'm leaving. Going to Paris. Won't see her until I'm getting married.
Try to be safe.
We'll be safe.
Very, very safe.
So safe.
Very safe.
여행을 시작합니다.
Are you excited?
Yes.
1 year trip. Stop just doing that. Right?
Yeah.
Excited?
Yeah.
A few safety reminders we need to tell you about before you settle down for the flight. As the fasten seatbelt signs are still on, please keep your seatbelt fastened for now. Your seatbelt will help to keep you safe if we encounter turbulence, so you should keep it fastened whenever you're seated. If turbulence is expected or occurs, the captain will turn on the fasten seatbelt signs and the crew will need to visibly check your seatbelt is fastened.
We're finally here. It was such a long day with transfers, meeting people, and delays. It was just a very long day, but we're finally here in Paris, and we're at the Renaissance Paris Vendome, and it's a beautiful hotel. We got a corner suite. I mean, look at this place. Look. Wine. Look at this. Got a free bottle of wine there. Large king bed. Some neat art. Mirrors. Chairs. Beautiful street view. Look at this. Not much when it comes to the refrigerator. Just water. There was 2. One's been drink. Eek. USB ports. 2 here, and then 2 on the other side. Thermostat. Toilet with glass separator. Not my favorite. So that's a downside because I don't really like glass separators for toilets. Just because when you get up in the middle of the night, you wake up other people. Decent sized bathroom for Paris. So got a full size bathtub and got a separate shower room. Look at that. Story time. So I usually do my research. I usually look into things like visas and stuff like that. I always forget that there's, I don't know if I say this correctly, but in the EU, or not just the EU, in Europe, there's two types of, in the EU, there's two different systems. There's a Schengen system and the EU system. The EU system, there's a bunch of countries part of the EU, and then there's a bunch of countries part of Schengen. I hope I say that correctly. Anyways, there's a bunch of countries part of it, and it covers a certain amount of countries, and it means that for EU, for people that are part of that system, that live in those countries that are part of that system, they can just travel between those countries freely, like a domestic traveling from state to state in the U.S. But for U.S. citizens or anybody that can get into these countries visa-free, that means that you only can be here for 90 days in a 180-day period. And that kind of blows our plans for the next year out of whack, because I was thinking we could do some traveling throughout Europe without thinking that all of Europe is considered one big giant country in a way, because we have to, if we're inside of the Schengen area, then we have to stick within that 90-day, within 100-day period. And that means that from the last day that we're staying, we have to count back 180 days to see if we're breaking that 90-day rule. And that means that it gets a little complicated, because staying in Europe for long lengths of time is not possible unless you get a long-term visa. And depending on which country you're trying to stay in, long-term visas are a little complicated to get. I heard they're simpler in certain countries and less simple in certain countries. In France, apparently it's pretty hard. You should apply for it within 3 months of going on your stay, and then there's a bunch of stuff that you have to do. So to limit our worries and anxiety, we're going to try to leave the Schengen area so that we still have time for our wedding and stuff like that. This looks really good right now. Breakfast time.
Breakfast time! For omelet?
We're in France, you gotta get omelet. Even though it's very cooked. I already took a bite out of mine.
So how do I drink my coffee?
Time to explore Paris. Let's get out of here. I've had enough of this little. 1 year ago, we waited right here for a taxi.
Uh-huh. Well, because it takes 30 minutes to get paid. 30 minutes on the train.
Cute. Ooh, Christmas market. Excited?
Oh, so exciting.
You want more wine?
No. I mean, I was curious if
We just arrived in France, but Kunmi is craving pho.
Yes. You know, Paris is really famous for fall. You come Paris for fall.
You see, we originally planned to stay in Europe up to our wedding day, which is in April, which makes it out of that 90-day period. So we have to figure this out. The pho place was closed.
Yes. Thank you.
Because I'm gonna have wine probably later. Cheers. Their char siu looks like bacon. How come we didn't come here last time?
I don't know.
저번에 계속 파리에 있을 때는 오페라를
So we'll be spending most of that time in the UK?
Yeah, okay.
UK.
We're gonna basically be a resident there.
1 month in the UK. But it's gonna save us that 90 days.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go to the UK. It's not part of the Schengen district, so it's gonna be easier to stay there. We can stay there for 180 days. We're gonna stay there for like a month and a half, and that's gonna make it so we can stay in Europe a little bit longer, not too far from France, and come back for our wedding in April. It's not a bad idea, right?